Welcome back, everybody. Fifth Line Podcast is back. Eric is back. We're all happy. Big claps for Eric. Big claps. He's almost made it. He's
almost done his schooling.
He's almost done his
For
semester.
the semester.
Almost.
He finishes up this Thursday, so that's fun. Eric, how you been, bud?
I've been good. I know we were before you started recording. We were kind of catching up, but yeah, I've just been working and doing schoolwork. Boring, but I have a schedule. I'm still
such as
making
life.
some money. Yep. And real quick shout out to Biostats, HPH 50 something. I don't even remember the number, for giving me 2 meetings on Sunday nights, and I'm like, dang it. I need to be present for those meetings.
Right when we wanted to record, those bastards.
The middle of our podcast.
Yep.
I mean,
Don't they know you have
clearly
prior
our
engagements?
Our podcast will take precedence over that,
Oh, yeah.
in my opinion.
Definitely.
Benny,
Oh god.
what are we wearing
about
today,
you?
Benny?
This is a 4 years ago throwback to Team Europe. You can't really see because my camera is ass, or this lighting's also ass, but you can't see. There is a split in the blues. This is much lighter. It just all looks like one color blue, but this is actually much lighter.
Oh, like the full jersey.
Yeah, like
Oh, you can kind of see it. Oh yeah, you can see it right there. You can see the little.
Yeah.
You can see the line straight through there.
my webcam is
It was 4
fucking
years.
terrible. My God.
I mean, isn't that the laptop webcam?
Yeah, and it's also a
I'm also
laptop
on my
from
laptop
7 years
yeah.
ago. Yeah, but yeah, no, Team Europe. I bought this beauty on eBay for, if I remember correctly, right around $30.
Interesting. $30, eh? I
Yeah.
also spent $30. Ah, there they are. Yep.
That's what it
Okay,
looks like
yeah,
when it's
that
not
looks
on a
better.
shitty
Huh.
7-year-old
Yeah,
webcam.
I could not tell that. It all
It
looks
was-
kind
It
of
all
I
looks
could
like
s-
one color.
Yeah, that's weird. I also am wearing a $30 jersey.
Yeah.
Eric, you were asking about it. I got this on sale.
Yeah.
It was the Cyber Monday sale or whatever on Fanatics or on the NHL store, and it's a
Oh, yep.
classic New Jersey Devils. And the reason it was $30
Oh.
was that, I don't know if you can see, it was a Taylor Hall. It was a Taylor Hall
Nice.
jersey. So it's like, I don't know, 2 years old or something whenever he was there.
Yeah.
Whenever he actually had a good
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
When they
And
were
then-
when
and
they
then
were
that
the
was
New
it.
Jersey Taylor Hall.
Yeah.
They really were just him that year.
Yeah, it really was.
And they got 5 games against Tampa out of it.
Yep.
Definitely worth it.
So we have
Looks
a
like
little
we
bit
actually are
more.
going to have a season.
It looks like we actually are gonna have a season. Knock on wood, because I believe numbers are still going up, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm starting work
they
from
are
home
going down.
tomorrow. They're definitely not going down. We have an expected
Oh.
season start date and camp dates as well. For the training camps, we've got the non-playoff teams, so the Forgotten Seven who didn't make it into the return to play. Nick,
Ottawa!
I believe Nick is the only one of us here that has a team
Go.
that didn't make it.
That has a team that he hasn't seen play since March.
They are going to be starting their camp. This is according to Elliot Friedman on Sportsnet. They will be starting on December 28th, and the other 24 will be starting on January 1st. So you guys get a 3-day head start. Better make use of it.
3-day head start after not playing hockey for
Not
how
playing
many
hockey
months?
so it's coming up on a year here.
Yeah, it'll be like 9.
That's pretty-
well,
that's pretty
because
generous.
it'll be about 9 months in between, because
Yeah.
it'll be by January. Yeah, it'll be about 9 months of not playing professional hockey. That's gonna be
It's a
something.
brand new team. It's a brand
Yeah,
new team.
also-
That is
that.
pretty new, yeah. It's going to be
Also,
interesting.
some of the guys played some hockey.
Yeah,
Yeah, like 3
True.
of them.
Matt Murray played a little bit for the Canadians.
Yeah, he got
trounced him.
on by the Habs.
Yeah. And then the regular season is, of course, supposed to start on January 13th, which would be cool. And I
Yeah.
think that's
Have
what most
hockey
of
in
us
a
thought.
month. That would be
Very
nice.
Be very nice.
Are they supposed to? Are they supposed to that week, the week of January 13th? Is that when they're going to make that announcement though? If that's like going to happen or not?
I would
No,
imagine
I
it'd
would.
be like within a
They
week
got
or
to announce it
so.
earlier.
I would expect an announcement very quickly here,
Within a week or so, yeah.
because they need to let people
Running out
know
of
so
time.
that they can come back from overseas if they're overseas.
And have the
Yeah.
quarantine. Yeah, I
Do
mean,
the
there's some
quarantine.
players are already
14
starting
days, yeah.
that.
yeah, do the quarantine and then to be ready to go. That's
I
my
know
assumption.
that Alexander
Like,
Romanov, one of
realistically,
the
we're
Habs
talking-
big prospects, has already made his way back to this. No, not the states. He made his way back to Canada, but yeah, they're already
The
all
provinces.
kind of starting to come in.
Yeah,
The
I
thing
mean,
is,
we're
though,
really
like it's crazy.
today
Oh,
we're a
Nick,
month
go.
away. Oh, today we're a month away. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
and with the holidays and like you got to factor in basically like, you know, these people aren't going to want to be away from their families for Christmas if they can avoid it.
Yeah.
yeah.
So they got to announce it by like next week sometime so that they can start moving back the following
And-
week, like New Year's Eve week.
The thing is, we're not really like. Yes, they have a date that they're shooting for, and like they really want to make it happen. And it looks like even if it doesn't happen, then it's probably gonna happen soon. But like, there's still a lot of shit to go through. The Quebec government's still not like Canadians don't have access to their practice facility. They can't
Yeah.
skate there yet. Like, and there's situationally, it's different like that all around the league. I know some of the California teams probably don't have access. I think right now.
Oh.
Like
Sharks
there's just a lot of weird situations that still have to be.
Plus, you still can't travel between the U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, well, I mean
so-
that's where the Canadian division comes in. But that's the other thing. Actually, I don't know if I've seen in any reporting is will there be any interdivisional play? I imagine there wouldn't be
I
because
haven't
if
seen
the
anything.
Canadian division can't have interdivisional play, then you would almost have to make all the divisions have to just play within themselves, or else it would be a massive like
Yeah.
competition difference. Like if
Yeah, I
so-
expect it to just be in divisional.
Yeah.
Intra divisional. I don't know the difference.
Tra because that means within.
Yeah, that's what I
Inter
thought.
So then you're talking.
Yeah.
So then, are you are we saying like 4 playoff teams then, one from each division?
No,
Four
no,
from
four
each division. Yeah, in
It
the
would
playoffs.
still be the
Four.
playoff situation would be exactly the same. Basically, you'd
Yeah.
have the same amount of rounds. It would just be the things that I've seen floated a lot is the first 2 rounds will also be within that division. Like you'll have
And the final four will be one.
I think
from each division.
you'll have 1 and 4 in the division play each other, 2 and 3 in the division play each other, and then play the winners of those. And then the final 4 of the conference would be the first like cross divisional play you would see all season, which
That's
would be
interesting right
a
there.
crazy wrench in everything. Because like,
You
yes,
haven't
it's going to
played
be
them,
a
you haven't
shortened
seen them?
season. Yes, it's a shortened season. It's going to be only 56 games, but if you're playing 56 games against a combination of the same 6 teams or 8 or 7 teams in most divisions, the Canadian division is smaller than the rest. There's 7, the rest are 8.
Yep.
So, but if you're it's just going to be such a weird kind of NHL season that we haven't seen before. So it's
It'll
going
be
to be
weird.
fun, I think.
Yeah.
I think, and hopefully this will only be a one-time thing, and we'll get back to normal.
I mean, yes, that's the goal. Like I think with the bubble and then with this now, that you see so many people on different like on Twitter or whatever, where they're like they are making the argument of, oh, this is like diminishing the Stanley Cup, or like, oh, this isn't like a true season. I'm like, do you guys like having fun? Like, what are you
Right.
watching this for? Like, are you watching it to get mad about how people are having fun with it, or are you watching it to enjoy it? Like, yes,
Yeah.
obviously the bubble playoffs wasn't ideal. No, obviously a season where you're not having any interdivisional play or having like such a lot fewer opponents, not ideal. No, but like it's the situation we're in, and I would like to watch some hockey. So yeah, I'm
Yep.
gonna try to enjoy it. Like I don't know.
Make the most of
I
it.
don't think it diminishes it that much. I mean, it changes the situation, but I mean, you still gotta beat teams.
You
Like,
still got to win a whole lot of
you still
hockey
gotta
games, and
win
you got to win
games,
4
like-
rounds of playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
and it was the same thing with the bubble. Like, you had to. There were some teams that maybe would have had to have won 5 rounds. It didn't end up being that anybody did that. It was people that were buy-ins in the first place was the cup final round. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something I just feel like not enough people like actively try to just have fun with a sport. Like we're all watching it to just get some amount of enjoyment, some amount of escapism out of it. Like just have fun with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's my soapbox for the show.
Yeah, no, dude, right, same. Given the circumstances, like, you're doing everything you can to make
Yeah.
a sports league happen safely. So if that is what we're left with, then just gotta run with it.
Did you guys see the NBA came back?
I did.
back to
I
it.
I heard that they
They've
were
started
back.
up already.
They got
Preseason
camps.
started, I believe, yesterday.
Ow. Oh, we lost Eric.
Nah, he'll be back. He'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
did
think
not
their
know
camp
that.
started yesterday or the day before. So
Yeah, I don't. I'm
The 20
surprised, but yeah, because sorry, Nick. Toronto, they wouldn't let Toronto play in Toronto, so they're in Florida right now playing.
They're playing out of Tampa, yeah.
Which is funny to me, but
yeah, I mean, comparing at least where these people are from, typically, like you're not getting a lot of basketball players coming out of Canada versus hockey.
That is true.
90% of what percent of the population is Canadian players? Like
It's a lot.
65,
It's
70,
a lot.
like a lot.
yeah,
It's not as much
Whereas
as it
in
used to be,
basketball,
but
you may
it's
have like
it's still
12.
very big. That's why Canada always is ridiculous when it comes to international play.
like the one thing.
It's like them, and then the
God.
U.S. is like on their heels, but
Yeah.
even then, actually, the U.S. has been falling back. Apart from like Matthews, there hasn't been a really good.
There's been
US
and a few countries have sort of started to sneak their way into the conversation. Like Finland and Sweden have both become
Speed and
big presences.
Sven.
Before we get into international hockey talk too much,
Mikea.
I know you had all the divisions listed there.
Yeah, we did just touch
they're-
on this.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
That I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this because I see some real imbalances in some of these.
Well, the thing is with those, don't be shocked because all of the reporters I've been seeing have been saying there's already been a few different variations that have been thrown out, and there's already those are the ones outside of the Canadian division. All the rest of them are probably going to be subject to change for a little
Okay.
while, because the Canadian division is the one where they're all in Canada. They have to.
Yeah, there's
That's
only
the one we know. But the rest, it wouldn't shock me if you'll see some movement. But the particular examples you listed, which I think were some of the ones that you said it was Pierre LeBrun tweeted out, right?
Yeah, this is Pierre LeBrun. This is from the LeBrunman.
Yeah,
West
there is
division looks
definitely
tough.
some imbalances in that particular bunch of
The only like possible changes I see happening are between. This isn't what he called them. This is just what I called them for my own sake. But like the Northeast and the Southeast, those are the only ones I could see some changes. Because the West, they're all out west. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
You can't really do much about that.
because
Well,
the
you could
listeners
probably
don't
figure
know
that,
who we're
like, the
talking
Texas-
about. Let's list those teams.
well, what were you saying, Nick?
I think the only other team, and you can list them once I say this, but I think the only team that might move out of the west side, that could move to like southeast, is Dallas.
Yeah.
They're not that far from Florida.
I've also seen St. Louis in different, I've seen them outside, moved outside of that one as well.
Yeah.
I've
So
actually generally
'cause that's
seen
like a
them in
heavy-
place of Minnesota.
Like the way that one could be potentially structured is that's like 3 like powerhouses versus
Which one
2
is this
garbage
you're talking
teams.
about?
West, Anaheim, Arizona, garbage teams. San Jose, who knows what they're going to be.
I'm
St. Louis
still
isn't going to be
confused.
anything that they used to be. I don't know.
St. Louis,
Anyway, Mike, if you want to
St.
go
Louis
through
is still good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're done yet.
Okay, so in the West, we're looking at Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Dallas, Los Angeles, San Jose, and St. Louis and Vegas. That's what the West is looking like, which is a pretty good it's got a good spread of crap and
Yeah, so if you
elite.
look at yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you look at that, right? So Colorado, Dallas, and Vegas, those teams are like your powerhouse teams, right? Like all of them made pretty deep runs into the playoffs.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
you
actually,
have,
they all
and then
did.
you have, yeah, so yeah, they all did. So and then you have the 3 California teams
Who didn't make it?
yeah, not that good. And then St. Louis, which I do agree with Bet. Like St. Louis can definitely compete. They still have.
They're
Oh,
still
that'll
there.
that'll be interesting.
They just
I
got
just
Krug.
realized I was thinking about but I was thinking about Petrangelo. So Petrangelo is on Vegas now, and they're going to be playing against each other a lot. That's interesting.
More. They'll be
That's
playing against each
yeah.
other more especially
Yeah.
if it's just
Yeah.
intra-divisional.
Yeah, yeah, but I feel like that's pretty. That's pretty balanced, right? So 3 teams that are NHL caliber teams, but lower tier, right? And then you have your 3 powerhouses. So
Yeah.
that's okay for a division, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Just of note, these divisions are actually the same ones that the Athletic reported on the 9th coming out of the NHL. So they are fairly recent.
Okay.
So we actually,
Okay.
these are probably likely.
The
Okay.
real imbalance I see is in Tampa's division. The
Yeah,
US
it's
Southeast.
rough.
In that division, we're looking at Carolina, Columbus, Detroit, Chicago, Florida, Minnesota, Nashville, and Tampa.
Mm,
None of those teams, with the possible exception of like Carolina, maybe Columbus. Columbus seems to have their number, I guess.
yeah.
But
Yep,
apart from
Columbus
that,
gives
it's
Tampa
just
a tough time.
apart from that, it's just gonna be a slaughtering.
Yeah,
And
I think
like-
Tampa would eat a regular season. Like if we go on the assumption it is intra division again for everything, Tampa's gonna eat that division alive.
But,
Yeah,
you know-
I don't know.
You know what that's gonna do though?
You can go 56-0 in that division.
You know what
Yeah.
that's gonna do?
It's gonna be a repeat of that.
They actually have a chance of that. But you know what that's gonna do is it's gonna do the same thing as the 2018-2019 season. They're gonna breeze through the regular season and then they're gonna shit the bed when it comes to the playoffs when they actually have to play a good team. That's what's gonna happen.
Hey,
I
you want to
mark my
cut?
words.
Stop complaining.
I want them to repeat.
Oh, that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look what
Hey,
happened.
but while we're talking about this, if Detroit's sitting in that division, and if somehow they can still stammer away from Tampa, it would make them look a
I mean,
lot
that's
better.
a big
that
if.
could
That's
that
a
could
really,
be
really
that
big
could be
if.
that could be spicy right there.
I mean, even if you add a Steven Stamkos to Detroit, it's just
It's not gonna.
it's just
it's,
ass
still not good.
with
that's like
Steven Stamkos.
that's like polishing a turd. Like, what's the point?
It's. I say all of this, but like the biggest W out of this divisional realignment is that the Canadians don't have to play the Red Wings, which is the weirdest thing. But they
Why?
have done nothing but lose against the Red Wings the last
Oh.
couple of years. I think
because-
they went 0-4 against the Red Wings last season.
That's pretty bad.
I'm a little depressed.
Yeah.
though. Looking at these, it kind of makes me a little sad because Ottawa could lose every single game of the season.
Ottawa's
Nah,
not gonna do that
nah.
bad.
I think they'll do well. I think they'll be like
Ottawa's
second from the
not-
bottom.
Like even last year, you could see out of Ottawa, they are not the kind of basement dweller that the Red Wings were.
Yeah.
Like Ottawa, they're not. They're by no means where they need to be, but like they're not horrendous, and I don't expect them to be horrendous. I expect them to probably be last in this Canadian division, but I expect they'll probably have higher point totals than most of the last places in all the other divisions will have.
Yep.
Because I think Canadian
One can
division
only
is gonna
hope.
be hella close. Like I think
Well, so
the Canadian division is gonna be. You're not gonna know who the 4 playoff spots are, and probably till the last 2 weeks of the season with the Canadian division. I don't think. I think that is the
You
division
want-
that has the biggest chance of being just a complete crapshoot in terms of playoff spots.
I don't
agree
think
with
that you're going to see Vancouver or Ottawa, because I know Vancouver's dumped a lot.
They dumped a
Nick,
lot,
that was
but,
actually
like-
going to be my question.
I don't know.
So
What?
well,
But
that's
yeah,
my
I
question.
mean,
That's
What
yeah.
who's it going to be? Like looking at it right here, I'm thinking Montreal, Toronto, Edmonton. Who's it going to be? Calgary or Winnipeg? It depends on what they do with Patrick Laine out in Winnipeg too. Like if they
think,
really trade him like they've been talking about how they could,
God, you're not going to win
which
a
would be
Patrick
the one of the stupidest move.
I think it's gonna be Ottawa.
I don't think so.
You think Patrick Laine
I
is
got you,
going to
buddy.
go?
So wait.
What,
That'd be
Ben?
nice.
So
Wait,
right now.
You think what's going to be Ottawa, Mike?
I meant they were gonna be the fourth team.
Oh, I don't think. No, I can fairly safely say I do not think Ottawa is going to make the playoffs this
I've
next
got
season.
Ottawa fever.
Mike's sleeper pick. It's Mike's sleeper pick.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean that's the question. So bottom two, you feel bottom two in that division, Vancouver, Ottawa.
Yeah.
Is that what everyone's like safe bet based on everything we know?
I don't think.
I
I
don't know.
honestly
I know
think
we know where you stand now.
I think that Calgary and Toronto in general are usually fairly good regular season teams. They'll probably be near the top for most of the division for most of that season. I think those are your safe-ish bet 1-2 for that division. My thing with the rest of that, other than Ottawa, I don't see a huge swath of difference between any of the other teams. I mean, it's easy to say that. I mean, Edmonton does have a Connor McDavid and a Leon Draisaitl. I just still don't think they have enough around them to do anything yet. I just think
Depends on what Mike
after
Smith
Calgary,
does.
Toronto, the rest of the division is just so, with all the moves they made this summer, it's just, I don't see that much of a difference between anybody.
This
Well,
is
until
just
you get to
Up in
Ottawa.
the air.
This is just on paper too.
I mean,
like-
Vancouver didn't do anything. Or not Vancouver, sorry. Winnipeg didn't do anything. I don't think they made
Yeah,
a
but
move.
they were also just friggin' decimated by injuries last year, and they also lost. Did they finally shore up their D a little bit? Because I know they lost like half their D core right before last
Oh
season.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember their decor at one point was like it's like 4 players that I'd never even heard of before.
Okay, so
And
they
then,
got
like, Neil
Josh
Pionk or
Morrissey.
something.
Oh, the guy they brought in was Dylan DeMello, who came from your boys, I believe, right, Nick? Dylan DeMello, he was a center, was he not?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
And he's a useful little player. Like he's not like world beater, but like he's gonna help that
He's
blue
a division
line.
beater.
You got Josh Morrissey, Dylan DeMello, Neil Pionk, Nathan Beaulieu. Really? Huh. He's still around. I mean, it's not world beating decor, but like they're not basically just throwing a team of AHLers on the ice like they were often
Yeah.
at the beginning of last season, where they were just
Bring back Dustin Byfuglien.
screwed. Yeah, when Dustin Byfuglien wasn't coming back.
Dang.
So yeah, they should be in a fine spot. They also brought back Paul Stastny. They got him back. They snagged him
Oh, yeah.
from Vegas.
He's a billion years old.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a good face-off man, right? Good two-way guy.
Yeah. I don't know. This could be interesting.
Oh,
This could be interesting, boys.
It's definitely gonna be interesting.
So
We
wait,
talk
real
about
quick.
the Northeast.
How do you guys feel? Yeah, the Northeast. Because I'm, as an Islanders fan, oh my God, all these teams we got to play against: Philly, Boston, Washington, the Young Ranger team with freaking Lafreniere now.
Yeah, Ben, you talk
Buffalo
about
with Taylor Hall. I mean, like
Ben, you
I'm
talk about the
like,
Canadian division being close. Look at that
this is gonna
freaking
be
division.
yeah. Yeah,
Hey.
the Islanders are gonna be playing like playoff tier hockey, like especially like for most of that
Yeah.
those
Thing
divisional
is-
games.
There are two
The
teams.
thing
I
is,
there are two teams I put.
Pittsburgh is ass.
Pittsburgh.
But-
Pittsburgh?
but Pittsburgh is also Pittsburgh, and like
You-
when they
you
play
played-
the Islanders or the Rangers, or
The Canadians played Matt Murray Pittsburgh, who was clearly on the downslope. When they put that
Was
new
not.
dude in, don't they have who's their guy taking the reins? Don't they have another
Tristan
elite?
Jarry is
Tristan
Yeah,
their-
and isn't he
their-
nutty?
There's
Alright.
that, but like
They
I don't
still
know.
got Crosby.
There
I-
was just nothing about the way any of that team played that made me think they're going to be doing anything. Granted,
All right, why
that's
don't we?
happened a
right.
million times with that team, and they've brought it back. Like I
You're
will
li-
fully admit that there's a solid chance that the Pittsburgh Penguins could do well because it's the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they do good out of nowhere all the time. I know this. I just don't think it's going to
You
happen.
are looking through a toilet paper roll at the 5 games they played against the Canadians, Ben, is what you are doing. They have
it could be fine. I just said, like, I
know.
really admit that they could bring it back. Like,
But you can't lead with Pittsburgh is ass when they have the team that they have. They are not ass. I don't think they were motivated in the bubble. I think you saw a very unmotivated team that's already won 3 Stanley Cups in the past 7-10 years, whatever it's been. And they were like, you know what? This sucks. Yeah. I'm sure they were still trying to win, but I think they were unmotivated.
Huge thing though, right? So the Penguins also finally gave away Jack Johnson to the Rangers.
that is true.
So
They did. They got rid of their. They got rid of the brick on defense.
That is only a help. I will admit that them getting rid of Jack Johnson was a W. That was very good on their part.
So here's my hypothesis, right? As long as you trade Jack Johnson, you go undefeated. Direct correlation.
Direct.
That's not. No, but that is kind of funny how.
Wait a second
the division
though.
Worked.
They got rid of Jack Johnson, but guess who they added?
Oh yeah, who was the? Oh yeah,
who did they add?
What was that guy's name from
Cody
Florida?
Ceci.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he sucks. He sucks.
I forgot about this too.
No.
They added.
Yeah,
I forgot about this next level bad trade as well. They added Michael Matheson as a defenseman from Florida.
From the Panthers. That was the guy.
4.875 a year through 2025-26.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
Okay, all right. You know what? I'm rethinking this whole Pittsburgh thing now.
Also, the Rangers are the ones who got Johnson, right, Eric? That's what you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Rangers got a little less.
The Rangers, like, yes, Lafreniere is obviously going to give them a good direct infusion, but like, the Rangers also got steamrolled in 3 games by the Carolina Hurricanes, who isn't even like the best team. Like, yes, the Rangers are going to be amazing. It's not going to be this year.
Not yet.
I don't think it's going to be this year.
That's fair. That's fair.
So does anybody know if Tuukka's coming back?
As far as I know,
yeah, he'll be back. He was.
So here's the thing with
Boston.
Boston. That's like Boston was on track before the pandemic. They were killing it like record wise. Like they were having one of their best seasons in a long time. Now they lost Krug. They didn't even fill his spot. So they're in a spot where they just lost the number 1 defenseman, and they're filling it with what Charlie McAvoy, is that his name?
McAvoy's
he's the step up.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's like a slouch by any means.
It wouldn't shock me. There was like a time 3 or 4 years ago where everybody was like, the Bruins, it's about to be their downswing, because like they were coming off of that time they lost to the Habs in 2014 in the second round, and then they had like just a couple real rough years in the draft, and like there was a few years there where it was looking like Chara was going to be gone. And everybody was saying, I think this is their downslope. I think this is actually when that's going to happen, is right now. I think it's the beginning of going down, because is Zdeno Chara even? Yeah, he's not even signed right now.
He's not signed yet, nope.
Where is that at? I don't know. I haven't even really heard that much about it.
I haven't been.
All their guys are getting older, and Bergeron's not any younger. And
yeah, Patrice Bergeron cannot be Patrice Bergeron forever.
What's his nuts there? Oh, Marchand. He's still pretty good, but he's not getting any younger either. But besides those guys, their core guys that they've had for the last 10 years, they haven't really done a whole lot to make those. They don't have anybody young besides McAvoy that's name worthy. The other thing with
Pasternak's only like 25.
I forgot about him. So Buffalo.
I forgot about
Buffalo's
Pasta Boy.
They have Taylor Hall, but
Buffalo
they do not have a goalie. They
that's another thing. I don't expect Buffalo to be anything either.
No,
sorry, Danielle. Is so bad. And Jeff Skinner had a trash season last year too, so maybe he'll bounce back. But they've got him committed to a lot of money for a long time.
He needs to have a bounce back year with the contract he has. Yeah,
I know. You guys know what he's making?
Yeah, I do.
Like $9 million, isn't it?
9 million.
Exactly.
It's like 9.9.
I don't know if not over 9. Not over
9 million until at least 2026-27.
It's a long contract.
He signed it 2 years ago, so I think it was a 9.9.
Right? No, you can't do, unless they just changed that, you can't do a 9-year contract.
You can't do it. Yeah, no, you can only do. No, you
8.
can't even.
You
Yeah,
can
it's
do
8,
you,
and that's only if it's with the team you were drafted by. It's 7 if you're signing
Yeah.
UFA to somebody else.
Yeah, that's a pretty rough one there. I looked that up and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah, and with all of that goalie movement, they still didn't do a damn thing.
didn't-
How? How do you? How? This was the most goalie rich market. This summer was like the.
It
How
was.
did you not like? That was the biggest thing they needed. Because
I
They didn't need Taylor Hall.
the
They needed a
tandem of
goalie.
Carter Hutton and Linus Ullmark. I would say they needed a goalie more than Taylor Hall. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'll find I don't think you'll find anybody that disputes that. One, because of their goalie situation, and two, because it's Taylor Hall. How much is he really gonna add here?
There's also that. Like I'm not
he's-
that convinced he's that amazing. Like he's a useful player,
he
but
had
like
one good year.
he did have. Yeah, that's basically
Yep.
all he's had.
It was right here. This
Yeah.
is where he
Maybe-
had his one good year.
Here's a hot take. The shambles that Arizona's in, they're gonna get Darcy Kemper from there, and he's gonna be between the posts for
I
him.
don't think they
For
are.
Buffalo.
Hey, anything's possible, Ben. That's just my hot.
I mean,
I like it. I like it.
yes.
It's hot like a jalapeno pepper.
But
Non-factual
it's
basis,
also
straight up
probably
assumption.
unlikely because I'm looking at cap friendly for Arizona right now, and he's signed for 2 more years.
Well, they'll get him in 2 years then.
He was all
Taylor
over
Hall
their
last
team
2
last
years
year.
in Buffalo.
They're gonna trade him at the deadline.
Who's
They're on a
next?
bad season. They gotta trade him.
Buffalo's gonna
what do you
trade.
think?
Trade who?
Taylor
So
Hall.
they haven't signed her a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
Taylor Hall. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're trash this season, you gotta trade him to get something back in return.
I think either way.
Yeah, but what are you getting back for Taylor Hall at this point? Unless he goes out and has like a 50-goal season by trade deadline,
That's what
and
I'm
like
saying.
he's just friggin' dominating worlds. You're not at this
think-
point with like the track record he has now. You're not going to get that much.
Yeah, I'd say it's more likely they trade him if.
Yeah, but it's better than getting some. It's better getting something rather than they're completely losing.
They
him
will.
for
They will
nothing.
trade. Yeah, they'll trade him for something if they're not like if they're not going to be doing anything. Yeah, they'll deal him. But I don't know.
The point. I think it's more likely they trade him. They can trade him if he has a good year. I think if he sucks balls, I don't think anybody's gonna take him because he's only had
Yeah,
one good year. I think if he's blowing chunk. I think if he's blowing chunks.
Singular chunk.
I think if he's blowing a chunk on the year, I think they try and deal him. Nobody wants him, so they just ride it out and then let him go to free agency, and he'll sign another ridiculous 1-year deal, prove it deal, and
Yeah.
not prove it again. But we shall see. I will say that a Taylor
Yeah.
Hall helping out Jack Eichel is formidable, but it
Yeah,
depends.
Yeah.
So Taylor Hall has been playing in the NHL for 1, 2, 3.
It's been a while.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 years.
2010 was when he got drafted.
Guess
Wow.
how many of those years he has managed to clear. Oh, it's actually more than guess how many years he's managed to clear 50 points. Actually, no. Let's change it to 60 points.
Out of the 10.
Out
you
of
said?
the 10 that he's
Out of
played.
10.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah. How many times
60
has he
points.
cleared
I'd say
60
5.
points?
I'd say
I'm gonna-
5.
What did I say 4?
Who wins?
2,
Then.
3.
He's counting. Let him concentrate.
Yeah. I need to focus. 1, 2. He has cleared 60 points 3 times.
Oh my
Jesus.
God!
3 times.
Eric wins.
Let's go.
He
He was the
had.
closest.
He
How do I
had.
win? That New Jersey Taylor Hall jersey. No,
He had
New Jersey
65
Taylor Hall.
He had 65 points in 15-16 with the Oilers. He had 93 in 17-18. That was his 1 year
Wow.
with the
That's
Devils.
crazy.
That was his Hart Trophy year.
Yeah.
And then had 80 with the Oilers in 13-14. Sorry, I missed that. But then the last 2 years with the Devils in 18-19, 26 points. Or no, sorry, 37 points rather.
Mm.
Not that much better. And then last year, split between New Jersey, Arizona, he had 52, so that wasn't terrible. He actually had 27 in
Okay.
35 games with it. He had a pretty good time with the Coyotes.
Well,
But, like,
no one else is there.
he's not a world beater anymore.
I don't think he ever was.
No.
I think, like
And
I
what is
said, I
he,
think
like
he just had
30
one
now?
good season.
There was a perception he could be, and then I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
think everybody's caught on to the fact that he's a good player, but he's not
yeah.
that.
He's not a.
And how old is he now? What, 30, 32?
If he got drafted in 2010, that makes him probably 20. Yeah, I was gonna say 28, 29. Yeah.
Imagine he had his 93-point year with Draisaitl and McDavid in Edmonton.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Imagine if he had his 93-point year in his contract year instead of having it 2 years before, because
Yeah.
I think that he just missed out on his last chance to get a big deal, because he's
Yeah.
29. He's not, unless he again goes and has like a fucking
He's
I don't
gotta
know
have another year.
70 goal year or some shit this year, which I can pretty safely say I don't think is going to happen.
Not 70.
He's not gonna get turned. He's already 29, and he's perceived as on the downswing. I think he missed his long-term deal.
He did.
Which, sorry, Taylor, you got a
No.
pandemic.
No,
Partially blamed
don't.
for that.
Sorry, Taylor. He's making $8 million in 1 year. Screw you, Taylor.
I mean, there is that.
He didn't get boned at all. He's a multi-millionaire at this point. He's fine.
Yeah, actually, I'm curious. What is his career earnings?
It's my guess
Look.
is it's in the 20s for 20 million, maybe just
Oh.
under.
Should be higher than.
You think it's higher than that? I don't know. I haven't paid any attention to him.
His estimated career earnings $45,215,233.
I was wrong. I was very wrong.
Yeah. So
So,
he's
yeah,
doing all
he's
right.
fine. He's fine. He's fine.
He just got on a really
Fuck
long
him.
Taylor Hall tangent.
Nick with the eloquent input.
I mean, not fuck you, Taylor Hall. You're fine. I don't know.
No, yeah, you're cool. I have your baby on. Nick, this was you? Was this you for this next thing?
This was me, yep.
Big,
I think
So last week,
I think it did so.
I was just perusing the internet one day, and it's the Gretzky rookie card is going up on the auction block, if it hasn't already.
I think it did. Yeah, 2 days ago it sold. I'm looking at an article right now.
But it was projected to be a greater than $1 million sale on that 1979 rookie
Oh,
card.
here it
It's
is.
one
Yeah.
of two. What did it sell for, Ben?
You guess, Nick. What do you think
Yeah.
the price tag is?
I have no idea because I didn't look it up. You guys know it right now?
That's why
Yes. that's what a guess is
I'm
called.
I know you know. I didn't know if Mike knew. Okay.
Yes, yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
1.3.
Oh!
Eric.
Well, shit. I didn't know you were gonna have Eric guess.
Wait, so you're not gonna. Oh, okay, yeah. Based on that reaction, so yeah, it's close to 1.3. I was gonna actually ask you if it was. I was gonna ask you if it was below or
It's
above,
below.
If you would
It's
give
below.
Technically, it's below.
us that.
Below 1. Below his estimate, not below $1 million. Sorry.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So 1.15. That's my.
No.
1.1.
1.29.
Ah, dang it.
So I guess a little bit more background on this. It's one of two.
Oh.
So there's that.
That's
it's
why.
It's an OPG card that was rated by PSA Professional Sports Authenticator, a 10 gem mint status.
Mint.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
as good as it gets.
So Ben, get Kakaniemi on this podcast. Mint.
Mint.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yep.
nuts. That's pretty
I
nuts.
need to find that in like an old closet in a shoebox or something.
Yeah,
I know.
right.
I'm thinking to myself right now, like my dad's told me over the years, like he had so many like baseball cards and just cards in general when he was growing up, and his mom threw them away. My grandmother threw them all away on him one time.
Oh.
He was
I
so
think-
mad, and
Oh no.
he knows he had some of these like more expensive like baseball cards that are out there now, and I mean, obviously it is what it is, but I'm thinking to myself, imagine if he had this card. It's $1 million card. Even if it's not like if it's not in mint status, if it's like a 6 or a 5, you're still getting like some good chunk, some good money out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
I don't have I have a few hockey cards that I know are like, there's nothing crazy, but there's a few I have that are like $50 to like $150 range, like value. That I have like separate off in like a different part of my collection, but I know that most of my shit is not worth anything because most of my hockey cards are from the 90s. And if you know anything about hockey cards, they printed them like fucking crazy in the 90s.
Did they?
There's like almost no value to any 90s hocky cards. Like,
Yeah,
see an
all
NHL
sports
Pro
cards.
set, there's like because I have like 5 Gretzky's from the 90s. Like I have it was funny because when I was younger and I just like got a few packs from like here or there or whatever, I would just open them and be like, holy shit, Gretzky, this much. And no, I just like they printed them like fucking crazy.
By the 5th Gretzky, you were like,
They did that with all sports.
I
too.
started to
Something's
to
weird.
clue in. Yeah, I was like, hey, they probably shouldn't be
why
there.
do
This
I have
many,
so many of these? I should be a multi-millionaire by now.
basically.
I remember me and Brian used to get like MLB cards back in like the early 2000s, and you'd buy those big boxes of them, and
There was a
you
full
know,
season. You
It's
could
the
buy
same.
like
It's the same concept. Like, yeah.
you can buy a season set. Like that's what the long box was. You could literally buy. It would be every friggin' player. They would have like team cards. They would have like arena cards. They would have every player from every team, just all in this one long ass box. I know because I had a few for a few baseball seasons because I liked baseball cards for a while. I think I had a couple football seasons randomly, just because I bought a box of them at a garage sale one time and
Because
was selling for like
sports.
$10.
Because he's
Yeah,
a
I just
sports
like
guy.
sports cards.
I have. I don't know if it's any. I don't know if they're worth anything, but I have like 20. This leads me to believe that they're not. I have like 10 Diary of a Phenom Crosby cards, and I have a couple like Crosby rookie cards.
I know the Diary of the Diary of the Phenom thing isn't really that crazy because they sold them in sets. It was like I got the box set.
I think I think that's what I got
whole
too.
thing. Yeah, it was just like after he had like an insane rookie season, they just put like a bunch of different cards together, like significant nights or whatever.
Yeah.
From his season.
Yeah, and it all depends on the brands of these cards too, because like I know Topps is like the major card brand now.
Yeah.
But, like if it's some like out of the box
valuable ones for hockey, they do a lot of valuable runs like younger.
Upper Deck is the biggest one for baseball cards, so I don't think like any baseball cards now out of Upper Deck are worth anything. But I'm curious to go back. So like I know Brian got a box of cards from my uncle, who's like in his 80s. There's some old throwback cards in that box, so I'm intrigued to see like what these cards might be worth someday. Because I know like my uncle has a ton of like old baseball cards and stuff.
Yeah,
hold
I
on
have.
to them, right?
I'd be interested. I know, like I said, I have like a bunch set to the side that I know are worth stuff. But it would be fun to like hire a card authenticator, like looker over guy, just for like a day to be like, can you look through all of these and tell me if there's any more that are, that are worth it?
Yeah. Is there
Or
any
like
biggies
assign a
in here?
value to every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be that'd be cool. I bet you'd
Yeah.
have some big ones in there. There's
I'm
a
sure,
website
like,
too.
yeah.
There's like a website
I
you
could
can go
always
on to
do
see.
that. Like I could,
Dude,
yeah. If I was really bored one day.
I was gonna say, how much time do you have? Because it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would take a bit. That would take a bit.
Hey Ben, I just realized that. So how many cards do you think you have that are like in the 1 to 150 range? You were saying.
Oh, no, it's like 50 to like 150. I don't actually have many that are that valuable. I know I have
Oh, okay.
I think I have a Tony Esposito rookie card. Tony Esposito, goalie
nice.
for the Blackhawks.
Yep.
He started with the Habs actually, and if I remember correctly, he might have like played a short bit one season, and I think he might have been like on a playoff run to a cup, but like wasn't the main goalie. He was just like a guy that was with the team, and then immediately got traded to Chicago and became like an all-star level goalie. I don't know if he ever won anything with Chicago because Chicago didn't win anything for forever. But he was like a crazy good goalie. I have a rookie card of him. I have a fairly old Lafleur card, Guy Lafleur. The one newer one I have that's actually worth something is I have a David Krejci with the jersey in it, like
Ooh,
piece of
nice.
jersey in it, and then an autograph that
that's cool.
I got like somewhere around $40-50. I have a few cool ones, but most of them I actually separated out that because I in my thought process they might become valuable. Like I have a PK Subban rookie card in there.
Yeah.
I
could
have
be, yeah.
a Victor Hedman rookie card. I have a John Tavares rookie
Ooh.
card.
Those are all good chances there.
The thing is, it's
dude.
also all about the specific runs and like how many
How many
prints
were
of like
printed.
if it's I don't know how
Yeah.
valuable they all might be, but like there are ones I kept to the side just thinking, who knows. But yeah.
Nice. I also have a jersey card, but I believe it was an Andrew Raycroft card from
that's
the
not-
Bruins. So I was like, oh.
It's probably not worth
Okay.
it much.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh.
Yeah. And then I think the only other cool card like that I have is I have a autographed card. It's a Tampa Bay Lightning player. Tell me if you remember this name, Mike, because I don't think you're gonna. But
let me hear it.
Evgeny Artukin.
Oh, Artichukin. Yeah.
Oh, okay, there
I
you go.
remember
Yeah,
him.
I have an autographed card here.
Nice. That's epic. I remember him. Yeah.
I got that was the same reaction. One day I opened up. It was like when I was younger. I opened up in that pack and I was like, "Oh shit, autographed card!" And I was like, "The fuck? Who the hell? I just didn't even know who the fuck it was. Didn't even know how to say his name."
I remember him. Yeah.
But yeah, I still have that. I have a lot of old.
That's pretty cool.
I was able to keep all of my cards. Really, like I was glad that I kept them all in good shape as time went on.
Yeah.
I have a lot that didn't keep in good shape. I bent the corners on a lot of them.
A noob move, bud. You're gonna be sad when you realize those bent corners cost you $1 million.
You can kiss my arse.
My arse. All right. Are we ready to wrap this thing up, boys? Because you say that we only have you said you're like we only got half an hour's worth of content here.
I said nothing. I knew
And
we'd
we
be
are
fine.
we are at 50 minutes right
We
now.
got into a 20-minute conversation about Taylor Hall.
We did.
That's true.
Yeah.
We went on a
I think
tangent.
I think that's the jersey's fault. My apologies. All right, I'm gonna tell a story this week.
That's a sweet jersey, dude.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
tell
got a story.
I got one. This is what Canadians are like. This is one of my experiences, excuse me, with Canadians.
Oh boy.
All
Ben
right,
looks
so
up
this
as he's offended by that statement.
no. This should be the least offensive thing ever. All right, and I know that's not a strong start, but so this was the last Canadians game that I went to with Benny.
Oh, I think I know.
You know where this is going already. So this was the last Canadians game I went to. This was
Past January.
It wasn't. It was.
It was this January, I think.
I think it was. I thought
You
it was
went
in
with Aaron and
December, but-
Danielle, right?
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah,
early
'cause
December.
When did you
but
start dating Danielle?
Early December.
Yeah, well, the game was until January. So yeah,
Okay.
it was this
All right.
January, yeah.
It was in January then. And it was a Penguins game. Penguins Canadians. We went in. It was me, my girlfriend Danielle, and then Erin, which is Nick's sister, and old Benny. And we went in. It was actually a really not exciting game.
Yeah, it wasn't a very
It
good
was
game.
not. It was
bad.
not. It was
It was
not
pretty
good
bad.
hockey. It was not good hockey at all. I mean, it was like both sides were like sloppy with passes and there's a lot of neutral zone play and
You know why, right?
no,
One guy, Jack Johnson.
Jackie J.
Yeah.
That was part of it.
The Canadians lost in overtime, if I remember correctly.
I don't know if it was OT or if it was like a
They were
1-goal
by a
game.
goal, yeah.
Yeah, it was a 1-goal game, and we ended up switching seats. I think you and Aaron were up in the upper seats, the ones that
Mhm.
we all got, and then me and Danielle were down in the good seats for the last period, I think. And then so the game finishes. I wore my Pittsburgh jersey because I have one from like 10 years ago when I was like a Pittsburgh fan.
And Tampa was terrible. You
half a
wanted to watch
Pittsburgh
playoff
team.
hockey.
Yeah. And so I was wearing that, and we get up and we're getting out of our seats, going to me and Danielle are going to our meeting spot, which was wherever it was, and this Canadian lady like looks at me, then looks at my jersey, and then sticks her hand out and is like, good game. And I shake her hand, and I was like, thanks. Like, clearly a Canadians fan.
Hey, wait, Mike. Was that the last hand you've shaken since pandemic started? Is that the last hand you shook?
The last handshake? No.
Oh, okay. I
I
just thought that'd
don't-
be funny.
I don't think so. I wouldn't. It was one of the last couple, I think. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that I met a client at some point at work that I
Yeah.
shook their hand before the corona hit. But yeah, that was it. It's just not all Canadians will be like that, obviously, but I
There's
think
assholes
probably a
everywhere.
lot of them are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, good game. And I was like, thanks, even though it really wasn't.
Largely, it was a pretty bad game. Largely, you'll be fine in the Bell Center if you're not wearing a Bruins jersey or a Leafs jersey. And then even
I
if
was just gonna say, if you're wearing a Bruins jersey, you're fucked.
even then, like if you go into it with the right attitude, you'll be fine.
Yeah, just
But
don't start trying to pick fights, because you'll get 'em.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the Bell Center is a good time, and that was a fun night. And it's always the better game was the one we went into against Colorado when it was the bigger group, when it was
Mm.
Aaron and Hannah and everybody came in. That was
Yep.
fun, and it was a better game. And then that was when we saw friggin' it was Plekanec, Lekkinen, and
We saw a
friggin'
bunch of
Jacob-
dudes in there.
It was
Oh,
Plekanec,
yeah.
Lekkinen,
No,
and Jacob
no,
So while we're
Delarose.
talking about that right now, so me and Aaron were talking last week, and they're like, you know what? One thing you need to talk about is when we all saw Plecky and
Yeah.
Patch down in the basement of the Bell
So
Center.
that
one
was after it was in it was January of 2017 or 2018, one of the two.
Something like that.
And we went into it was a Tuesday game against Colorado, and that was when Colorado was ass. And it was the year I think they were ridiculously bad, and it was a good game from what I remember. But then after, because my grandpa with the season tickets had gotten it was a $100 gift card to the new restaurant at the time, but now it's been there for a little bit with the Club 1909 there.
Yeah.
And we went into the downstairs part where it is, and we sat down, and they sat us a few tables away from where Plekanec, Lekkinen, and Jacob Delarose randomly all came in and sat down, and were just drinking wine and having some food next to us, and it was just a crazy
It was cool.
fangirl moment. And I think as we were walking out, I think I said, "Hey, good game, guys," and just waved, because I didn't want to be the guy that goes over
Yeah,
and tries to get a photo and everything, but I just wanted to be like, "Hey, good game." So
GG's
that was
boys.
it. That was the
GG's.
story.
No, that was
But then-
yeah, that was cool.
But that was the infamous night we walked back in the slush roads too.
Let me
Oh
let me tell
that
you,
was
there is not much that is more fun than walking back in the dead of night in Montreal
Yeah.
Yeah.
with your buds, because
Yeah.
that was a great time.
you just
Yeah, it was.
run down the empty street.
we just really did. Just
It was like-
sprint
It
down
was like
the
1:32
middle of the
a.m.
road.
I remember. Yeah, it was dead ass in the middle of the middle of the morning.
Yeah.
I want to say it was 2 a.m. because we went to a bar afterwards too. And
Yeah,
I remember
we went to
got a
Mad
It was
cab.
Hatter.
like
Which Mad Hatter's great time. Oh, I
love
miss
the
that
Mad Hatter,
place.
dude.
Amazing.
I miss that place.
Killer Kool-Aid. Killer
Killer
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid boys.
I still I was going through my Facebook messages the other day, and I still have the recipe that the Mad Hatter sent me from that night.
Dude, I have it ingrained in my
No
mind.
way.
We need to actually get everything. Next time we get together, we need to get it all and then make it.
Yeah.
And the good old Belgian moon.
Montreal's a good
Because
time.
Yeah,
none of
Belgian
them
moon.
have blue moon taps in Montreal for some reason.
Yeah. I think
No,
that's
that was
good.
a fun night though, and the running down the middle of the street. Yeah, I actually still have because it was all slushy that night, and as we were running, just sand and salt from the road got kicked back up onto my white Team Canada Shea Weber jersey.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah,
Is it still
haven't-
stained?
I still I never tried to get the stains out because I was like, I don't even know how to begin to do this, so I just haven't worn that jersey in a few years. At some point, I will actually
Yes,
like
I
spend the
can.
time to like look up and be like, best ways to get stains out of jerseys because there's
think-
actually a few jerseys I
I
could
think
do
it's
that
like
with.
I think it's
but-
like baking soda and water, and you like squirt
Dude,
it on
Yeah.
there.
Dude, you're a grown up now. Bring it to a dry cleaner.
Or you could do a dry cleaner. They'd probably
Yeah,
get it
it's
out.
got iron-on numbers. I don't know what that. I'd rather
Google.
just try to get
Google.
the stains out. Yeah.
Here's the real question, Ben. Do I tell the story that you don't remember?
Is this the one that he got super drunk and couldn't get back the next morning?
Ben's like, what story? Exactly.
Are you talking about that? The time I missed my bus after? Yeah. That's not one of my better stories.
I'll,
but I
you
did
know what,
decide-
I'm gonna,
Dude, I
I'm
wish-
gonna hold
I wish
off
I
on
would've
that
been
one. I
around
think.
for that.
I'm gonna hold off on that one and
Bring
save
it.
that one. I think.
We'll save that one for
Save that
later.
one for a
Okay.
rainy
yeah.
day.
Yeah, I
Teaser
think
for
we've
next
we've
week.
got enough. We've got enough. We got enough to go on for this episode.
That's a rainy day story. That's gonna bring us to the end of this episode, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. Share it with your friends.
That was fun. That flowed. I
That
thought
was
felt
good. That was good. It's good to get the fourth guy back. I never asked him any uncomfortable biology questions. We'll have to get to that next week. So prepare yourself, Eric.
Biology.
So just a little
I
update
got
before
that
we
in undergrad, man. I'm taking public health now.
before we sign off here. Next week we'll have our episode next week on the 20th, but I'm assuming we're not gonna.
Oh
have one
yeah.
on the 27th.
Fantasy
right?
draft.
Christmas break, right? Yeah, like
Yeah, we'll
Christmas break.
we'll do an episode next weekend. I'm also gonna go for the fantasy draft next weekend, and then the 27th. I'll say probably no. We'll probably take that day off.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's how we're gonna do it going forward. I
I-
hope.
I will be there for the fantasy draft next Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to be there. I'm moving in next weekend. I'm moving into my new apartment, so
okay.
I may or may not join you for depending on how that's going. I may or may not join you for the pod, but I will
We will
definitely
see.
hop on at least for the draft
All right.
because that's scheduled for next
Yeah, and
Sunday, right?
It's next Sunday. We're gonna figure out what date and time we're gonna actually do that. That was just a placeholder time. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll figure that out
Okay.
out
Yeah, 'cause
after.
we could even do it like. Yeah, we don't have to talk about it now, but we could even do it like the 18th, like Friday, this Friday night or something.
Well, scheduling is not the most interesting thing for the
we will
listeners
discuss
to
in a
listen
minute.
to.
Let me play us out.
All right, go, Mike.
Hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.